Hello my friend, are you ready for Bundesliga Matchday number 12? Here are my predictions and the best bets and eckers at the end.
Radek Vegas. There's no better.
Before we start, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to this channel that you don't miss any of my picks. Thanks for your support, buddy. Yeah, and first we have a look back at game day number 12. What happened there? Because of Dortmund's loss at Stuttgart and Hoffenheim's only 1-1 draw against Augsburg, the Ecker was no winner, so I lost my Asian Handicap 0 Ecker and my Asian Handicap -1 Ecker. But at the end I'm still very profitable. I won 6 Eckers so far in this season and have profit of 12.8, which equals a yield of 64% compared to another tipster called Ronan from Oddspedia, the YouTube channel with 24,000 subscribers. He has 11 Eckers and hasn't won any of them so far. That makes a difference of 33 units, 0.80 after only 11 game days. So you can decide who you want to follow, and if you want to follow me, then let's go with match day number 12. Remember, after the national team break, we have a leader called Leverkusen, still no loss. The same with Bayern Munich, also no loss for them, scoring 42 goals so far. And Bayern Munich is playing in the first game on Friday against pre-last Cologne. And Cologne has only 9 goals, which is the less in the Bundesliga. You see, Bayern Munich has odds of 1.25 and for sure they should beat Cologne easily. But in the last games between the two, Bayern had some problems and trouble with Cologne. Only 1-1 last season and a 2-1 win of Bayern at Cologne. It was the last game day and Musiala scored in the extra time, making Bayern the champion of the season in the last game day against Cologne. So both games were really close, but Cologne was way better in the last season than they are now. You can see it in the standings. We have them on position 17. They only had 1 victory so far and they also had only 3 draws at the home standings. It's a bit better. They only conceded 9 goals at home. But anyway, anything else than a Bayern win would be a surprise for sure. But would you bet on odds like 1.25? Not in my house. And would you bet on the opposite, on a weak team like Cologne against one of the best teams in the world? Also not a good idea. That's why we don't find a good bet on 3-way or Asian Handicap here. We also have really no good odds on over or under goals. Maybe on under goals, but do you want to bet on under goals in a Bayern Munich game? No. But do you want to bet on over goals if the line is or the odds are so low on such a big amount of goals? Also hands off. Unfortunately, we can't find a good bet in this game. That's why we skipped that. You can bet on it if you think for sure Bayern Munich wins. But in the long run, as you've seen last season, they had a draw against Cologne. And this happens from time to time. I'm pretty sure it won't happen here, but it can. And you risk 100% to only win 25%. That's not a fair bet, and I'm just looking after or looking for good and fair bets where we get a lot of money, good odds, and this for sure is not good. Second game, Union Berlin against Augsburg. First game on Saturday, and Union Berlin has a new coach. Their former U19 youth coach Marco Grote is now the first coach in Union at Berlin, and following Urs Fischer, who retired after a bad streak, and Union Berlin, as you can see, is last in the standings. They lost 9 games in a row now. They only scored 11 goals. And on the other hand, we have Augsburg. They changed also the coach 4 games ago. And now Augsburg is on spot 10, and they were able to collect 8 points in the last 4 games and not losing any of these 4 games, which is really, really good, playing against teams like Wolfsburg and Hoffenheim, which are considered as maybe 2 of the 9 best teams in the league. So great achievement of Augsburg and their new coach. That makes them kind of favorite in terms of stats against Union Berlin. But still the bookmakers believe that Union Berlin can turn around, and with their new coach maybe we see like a coach effect. But I don't believe in coach effects, and I don't believe that a U19 youth coach is the solution for a really massive problem at Union Berlin. So I think the better thing is to bet on a team like Augsburg, which proved over a long run now that they can make points, which Union Berlin didn't. So draw no bet on Augsburg with odds of 2.75 looks way better than 1.4 on Union Berlin, a team again which lost not only 9 Bundesliga games in a row, they also lost in the cup. They also lost 3 games in the Champions League and were only able to make a draw against Napoli. So yeah, everything said. Disclaimer, also Union Berlin is a Champions League team. They were a really strong home team the years before, and they can strike back any time. So sure, maybe now it's time for that, because the team should be good enough to win against Augsburg or make even 1 point. But everything we've seen in the last games and especially the odds lead to a clear value bet on Augsburg. And what is a value bet? A value bet is a bet you bet on and after 100 times or 1,000 times doing this on value bets, you think the odds are better than the probability, then you end up making profit if your strategy is right. Then it's really a value bet. If you're wrong and you don't have a system which works, then yeah, you don't make profit. But I've been doing this for 7 years now and betting on Bundesliga, and I've been profitable every season so far. And as you've seen in the beginnings, that also in this season I'm profitable. I don't win every game day. I don't win any Ecker, but who does? You can compare it with others. And so I just tell you, everyone loses from time to time. I lose more than I win. But if I win big enough to cover all losses and make profit in the long run. And that is what betting is about. Betting only 1% each bet and making profit in the long run, and this works out here. So let's go on to the next game, and this is Borussia Dortmund versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. Both are called Borussia, both are kind of close to each other, I think 100 or 200 kilometers, but in terms of football they are kind of different, especially if it comes to a home game of Borussia Dortmund. It's very interesting to have a look at the last games between these two teams, especially at Dortmund. We've seen a 5-2 last season and a 6-0 2 seasons ago and a 3-0 3 years ago. So clear thing in Dortmund for the home team. But also the problem here is we don't get good odds. Only 1.45 for a favorite like Dortmund, who lost 2 of their last 3 games. We've seen them losing without a chance against Stuttgart. Really horrible bad game of Dortmund, and also they lost 4-0 against Bayern Munich without a chance. And I don't want to bet on a team which lost games so badly in the last 2 Bundesliga competitions. And for sure the odds are not great. And on the other hand, also no good idea to bet on Mönchengladbach. They've been the third worst team in the last season in away standings. So they're not really good playing away, obviously. So it's also no great decision to bet on them. And if the favorite has such weak odds, we unfortunately can't find a good bet here, which I would bet and recommend. And so, we have to go on to the next one, which is Freiburg versus Darmstadt. Same situation here. We have a clear favorite with Freiburg, 1.55. But if you have a closer look to the Freiburg games and the standings, it should not be that small odd for Freiburg, as they are never a huge favorite in any game. And also Darmstadt is able to make some points, as they proved against Mainz. But yeah, to be honest, I won't put a cent on Darmstadt, but also if the odds on favorite like Freiburg are too weak, just hands off, because everything is just luck. If you win the bet, okay, you expect that, but in about 30 to 40% of the cases, you might lose this bet and end up losing important money. And I don't want to risk my money on games like that, and I just choose few bets, but bets with good odds and not with odds like this. Are both teams able to score? I would say no, because why should we bet on a team like Darmstadt playing away and scoring at Freiburg? Because we have Freiburg at home conceding 8 goals in 5 games, and we have Darmstadt scoring only 4 goals in 5 away games. So, okay, in the Bundesliga, most of the games are with both teams to score, and most of the games are over 2.5. But if you know that, and I know that, you can be sure the bookmakers know it, and everything is already priced in the odds. And if there's everything known and in the odds, you can't make profit with it in the long run. You can win one bet, but you end up losing more with a kind of strategy, which is not a really good strategy if you're not profitable in 100 or 1000 bets. And this is the same thing here. I won't say it's a good idea to bet on over goals, and I would say it's not a good idea to bet on both teams to score. So the other option would be both teams to score. No, you get odds of 2.0, but to be honest, this is not my style of betting. That's why I won't put my own money on it. But I can understand if somebody thinks, yeah, it's not bad. Next game is Werder Bremen versus Bayer Leverkusen. Sure, the leader of the Bundesliga without any loss is a favorite here with odds of 1.45. But again, I'm not tired to repeat that if the favorite has weak and poor odds like this, don't think about betting on it, because it's not worth it. And you have to accept losing a bet, but if you lose a bet with good odds, it's way better to lose than a bet like this. And also, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to say, hey, I combine Leverkusen as a winner with maybe Freiburg as a winner and Dortmund as a winner. Then you have a triple bet with odds of 1.5, and you have odds of 3 around, or maybe even 4. But you don't win this bet in 3 or 4 every third or every fourth time you bet on it, and you will end up lose money with a combination like this on favorites, because the odds are so low that you can't yeah, you can't win a lot if you want to cover this loss, and that's why you shouldn't do it. And so also you can't bet on Werder Bremen. That's why, again, a game to ignore if we have a huge favorite. In this game we have not a huge favorite, but still a favorite with odds of 1.9. But Leipzig had recently problems playing against Wolfsburg in the cup game. They lost with 1-0 at Wolfsburg, and now they are also playing at Wolfsburg. We also had the national team break, and after this I would also recommend not to bet a lot, because there can be some changes. The national team players might be tired after the games, especially the German ones who lost against Austria and Turkey, and also the other ones. And so we can maybe see some surprisings. And it's getting colder. I saw the first snow here in South Germany yesterday, and this also affects this style. And in the past we've seen bad teams improve before Christmas and good teams decline before Christmas. And you can see this not only in the Bundesliga. I've followed this in the NHL and some other leagues also. So it's kind of maybe a mental thing that the bad teams want to collect some points before Christmas, and the good teams are still good enough, so they don't want to be injured before Christmas or before the turn of the year or the break. And so we will see some surprisings. I don't know if it's this game day or the next game days, but in combination with the national team games, you should keep this in mind, that favorite odds are never a good idea, especially if it comes to November or even December. And in this case also, we have a team like Wolfsburg who lost a lot of games recently. Only one victory out of the last 7 games in the Bundesliga, and this was at the end of September against Frankfurt here. So beside the cup game, I won't say that Wolfsburg should win this game according to the stats. And Leipzig was able to win in the Champions League and against Freiburg recently after losing against Mainz. But still, the odds of 1.9 are okay, but not good enough to bet on it. This one is the first and only interesting game on this game day so far, as we have balanced odds, and I'm always looking for balanced odds in betting. And both teams have odds of 2.6 in the three-way for a winner. So we can make it easy and bet on draw no bet. So we have the draw covered, and we just can decide on which side we want to bet, and we can't lose. So if we choose right. But what to choose in this situation? Do you want to choose Stuttgart because they are better in the standings and they recently were able to beat Borussia Dortmund? Or should we compare the standings of home versus away? Because Stuttgart lost 2 games away, conceded 8 goals, and Frankfurt has not lost a game at home and conceded only 4 goals. And in this situation, I would say my tip in the result would be a 1-1, because the bookmakers are also like they expect a draw here, because no favorite, no underdog, both equal. But my point here is that Frankfurt is the better home team than Stuttgart is an away team. And so we also have good stats of Frankfurt in the last 3 games against Stuttgart. They didn't lose a game. And also you have to go very far in the past, in 2018, when Stuttgart had the last victory against Frankfurt. It was 1-0 at home. But as I said, Stuttgart is not a good away team, and the last victory of Stuttgart at Frankfurt was 2016. So I don't want to bet on a team like Stuttgart in this situation. And on the other hand, we get really brilliant odds on a strong home team like Frankfurt and a strong altogether team like Frankfurt with odds of 1.83. So what do you think about? Write in the comments, do you believe the trend of Stuttgart is continuing, or do you think the home trend of Frankfurt is continuing? Write 1 for Frankfurt or write 2 for Stuttgart in the comments. Then we can go to the Sunday games between Heidenheim and Bochum, and the other one then is Hoffenheim versus Mainz. Heidenheim, really good results at home. They were able to win 3 games playing at home, and that's almost everything they achieved this season, because no winnings away. Bochum was able to win 1 game away, okay, but still I prefer Heidenheim at home. I really like their effort, their players, really great coach, maybe one of the best coaches in the league. He makes really a lot out of his potential in Heidenheim. As you see, they were able to score twice against Bayern Munich, a team with maybe 100 times the money than Heidenheim. And they also were able to beat Stuttgart at home. Really great result. And that's why I think for sure, Heidenheim should be the favorite here. But also Bochum had 3 really good results before the break against teams in the bottom of the standings, like Heidenheim also is. They made a draw with 2-2 against Bochum. They were able to beat Darmstadt, and they made a draw against Cologne. So they also are able to make at least 1 point at Heidenheim for sure. That's why the odds of 2.2 on Heidenheim are a bit too low, and I would never bet on a 3-way win. I'm always looking for good draw bets or even Asian Handicap -1 or Asian Handicap -2.5. But in this situation, I don't think it's a lot of value. The odds are okay for Heidenheim, but not good enough to win a lot. 1.6 for a team like Heidenheim that they don't lose is a bit too low, and I don't want to do that. No matter what I think the game is ending, if you don't get the good odds for that, it's a no bet. Hoffenheim versus Mainz, unfortunately the same thing. You can call me a coward, but then you don't know anything about betting. At least Mainz made 4 points out of their last 2 games, and Hoffenheim didn't. So they lost against Leverkusen, okay, a good game of them. And they had a draw at Augsburg, which they should have won because I betted on them. And Augsburg at home, also a good team. Hoffenheim at home should be good enough to keep the points at home. Unfortunately, in the home standings, Hoffenheim is not that great, as they only are number 17 in the home standings. Only one game. Do you want to bet on a team like that, who has only won 1 out of 5 games at home with odds of 1.9? I don't. I want odds of 3 or 4. Then I would bet on them with Asian Handicap 0 to ensure a draw. But in this situation, it's a no bet. Also, betting on the underdog is no option for me because, the odds are even worse to bet on them. So what shall we do on this very difficult 12th game day? I can't tell you to bet on every game, so I found only a few bets which are worth to put money on, and I show you where. In a tipping game, I would say Bayern Munich is winning against Cologne, but not that high you might expect. And Union Berlin versus Augsburg will be a draw, as Union Berlin might strengthen up and Augsburg is also hard to beat. Dortmund should win against Mönchengladbach, but it could be also closer, and the odds are not worth to bet on, but this is another story. Freiburg should be a clear winner against Darmstadt at home, as they are a good home team, and Darmstadt struggled a lot in the past, but still bad odds on Freiburg. Leverkusen should win against Bremen, also bad odds, and Bremen is able to make a surprise and would be awesome. So yeah, I don't want to bet on Bremen, but also not on Leverkusen. Leipzig should take revenge on Wolfsburg because of their loss in the cup. Stuttgart versus Frankfurt, I'm really not sure if I should say Frankfurt is winning this or we have a draw here, and the 1-1 draw seems to be the most realistic result, and at the end I think Frankfurt should also be able to win this game on most of the days. Heidenheim should win against Bochum 2-1, and Hoffenheim also with a close win against Mainz. No matter that they've been very poor in the recent home games. And my Ecker is on Frankfurt and Hoffenheim combined with Asian Handicap 0, only odds of 2.5 this time. I told you a lot that it's a very tough game day. And the second Ecker is Asian Handicap -1 on both. If they win with only one goal, we get the money back, and the bet is set to 1 and ignored in the Ecker. And on the other hand, if they win both with 2 goals in advantage, Frankfurt versus Stuttgart and Hoffenheim at home versus Mainz, both home games, then we get odds of 10.25. What do you think about it? Write your comment in the comment section, and thanks for watching. Before we start, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to this channel that you don't miss any of my picks. Thanks for your support, buddy.